Hello, welcome to day 5. We're already on day 5 of M.E.L event. Today's topic is children, not children's stories, but having children within your story that you're writing. Be that science fiction, fantasy, even horror. We're going to discuss that a little bit, writing kids into books. But I am curious, as always, please let me know what you plan to be working on today during our sprints. We're going to have 2 today. We have Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. Please let us know what you're working on. I am continuing to work on my editing job. I am on chapter 20, oh my God, I don't even know how many pages this is right now. Can't even compute. I'm on chapter 26 right now. I'm roughly, I think I just entered scene 2 of chapter 26. I have 29 chapters to go through, so I'm really close to the tail end of this sucker. I'm at the final confrontation, and I'm really excited about it. But I am physically very tired. Happy full moon right now. Full moons tend to sucker punch me in the gut. This is super moon too. They always make me sleepy for some reason. So I'm really, really tired today. I've been tired since yesterday when the moon started. So, yeah, I'm just sluggish, unfortunately. Hoping to wake up a little bit. Hoping I can wake up. And Jennifer, I'm still working on draft 3 of my fantasy novel. I just passed into a midpoint. Yes, you're getting there. Oh my God. Draft 3, man. Oh, that's me next year. Draft 2 this year, draft 3 next year. Probably doing beta stuff next year too, maybe. Beta reading. Okay, so topic today is about kids in stories. For me, I've used younger characters in stories as kind of a cheat in order to info dump, but do it in a way that feels natural to the story. It's one of the easier ways you can convey complicated information without seeming like you're lecturing your audience. Instead, a child is being lectured. However, I will say you have to be careful in the manner in which you do it. You do need to make sure it is spoken in a way that the child's age demands. So, for example, one of my early short stories, my first sci-fi I ever wrote, actually, that short story had a child who was looked between the ages of 9 and 10 years old, was found on planet and was asking questions to the adult because the planet had been destroyed for quite some time. And she was asking, like, why is there so much like white stuff all over the ground and stuff like that? And he has to explain that's ashfall from what happened to the earth, but he has to explain it in a way that a child would understand. So very simplistic words, very simplistic sentences. The kinds of questions a child asks has to be the kind that a child would ask. So a child's not going to ask, like, what did all the government officials did when the planet was going to shit? Like, a child isn't going to ask you that question. They're not going to ask about political stuff that was going on. They're going to ask something a child would ask. So you do have to keep that in mind. But if you do it correctly and keep the tonality correct, it's a great way to inform history and backstory to your audience in a natural way for the story. It's one of my favorite ways to convey a lot of historical information in a world is through the eyes of a child. I do work with kids as a teacher, so that helps. I'm around kids all the time. I hear their questions constantly. So it's pretty easy for me to apply that logic to my writing. And it's something I've always apparently been good at because it's something that a lot of my readers and critiquers have noted. They're like, you write children very well. And that's because I work with them and I've worked with them for years. So being in a classroom definitely does help. If you have relatives who are quite young, it's really listen to them, really listen to how they talk, how they ask questions. That goes a long way to making sure it's realistic in the story. You can also, if you don't have any younger relatives that you can like listen to very closely, you can just like listen to videos and stuff like that. I do have a little aside about that, just a sec. Jennifer, I'm just now realizing I don't have any child characters in my work in progress. Yeah, it's actually pretty common to leave them out. My current work I'm working on right now does not have any child characters. But there are, excuse me, there are flashback scenes in which my main character is a child. And again, I have to keep in mind, like, how would the child have seen the world? It's not going to be the same as their adult version. So all of the memories are going to be tainted with that view. And it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, children are often left out of stories. It can be a really good way to ground your story and make it a little bit more realistic is by having children involved in some way. At the very least, seeing them in the background or something, and again, having them be themselves, like act the way a child would, which should go without saying, but I've read so many stories in which children very much do not act their age group at all. And it's nothing will pull you out of work faster than a child character who talks like an adult. It's very strange, does not work, but it's sadly very common to see. In terms of like using online videos and whatnot to kind of get an idea of how children speak, I would be cautious with that. I have a huge beef with family vlogs. I'm not sure how many of you guys know about family vlogging and all of those controversies. But there are laws in America about child labor. However, those don't seem to extend to social media, unfortunately. So a lot of videos, most of which make money, by the way, are exploiting children online. So to be very, very cautious, I would avoid family vlogs like the plague. Like usually a better way to kind of gauge how children act would be like videos that are clearly were taken on a phone at a casual setting, like they were not scripted. A lot of family vlogs, they may not look like they're scripted, but most of them are, because again, it's about making money. So do be very cautious. Also, like I prefer, like if there are going to be children involved, I like faces to be blurred, things like that, like just for the safety of the child. Even though nothing's really going on, they're usually like rambling about a new toy they like or something like that. But like I don't know, a lot of the laws with children in social media is really skewed right now. A lot of children are exploited. A lot of children are put online without the permission before they even know what that is. It can be quite dangerous long term. We're starting to see some of the effects of that now, where child predators and stuff are running rampant. So it is something to be very careful about. It's one of those weird things because it's just like, if you want to understand how children talk, you do need to be around children. But we're living in a world where it's kind of dangerous. So it's like, I would recommend people volunteer at schools because schools always need help. They always need more people to make more printing, cutting papers, cleaning classrooms. Like there's always work to be done at a public school. But we're in a difficult position of the world right now where I think you might not be safe to just be volunteering at schools, just for the sake of writing children better. Another thing is reading a lot of children's lit. That's that one's so. I would read children's lit that's written by teachers if possible and has high rankings, not just with general populace, but with kids that kids tend to enjoy. Those books might help you get some of the like how to talk in your head. Also, children programming is another good one. Things like, I personally don't watch it, but Miss Rachel is one. There are one or two others that are supposed to be pretty good. Slower speech, simpler words that you use in those sentences. Yeah, it's rough because I would try to avoid videos with children in it, especially when they are monetized. A lot of times the children are being exploited in those videos. Please be cautious. Jennifer, I try to avoid videos with kids. Always skews me out. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them, even if it doesn't seem like anything bad is going on the screen, if money is being made, if they're monetized, which a lot of them are, it's a no. I know that like I saw one or two in my recommends not that long ago, and I think I blocked them. But there were some videos that were like toy review videos and stuff like that by kids. And I know that's really popular and a lot of kids do these, but it's just one of those things like, how are these kids going to see these videos? Because these are like 8, 9-year-old children doing these videos, sometimes younger. And I'm just sitting here being like, wait a minute, these kids are growing up. They're going to go to high school where everything's embarrassing. And they have videos on YouTube of their 8-year-old self reviewing the pooping flamingo thing. Like, because that was a huge thing. It was a trend for a while. And like, it was like a lot of videos were linking to stuff like that. And the first thing I think of is like, what are these kids going to do when they hit high school? Because that stuff is forever on the internet. I think a lot of people just assume, oh, no one will find that. Yes, they will. I don't think people understand just how brutal high schoolers are about, like, children can be insanely mean towards each other, which is insane, but it happens. And it's not unusual for me to run across teens crying because I use like TikTok, and sometimes like I'll be scrolling on my FYP and then I'll run across a video of this teen bawling her eyes out because her classmates found her old YouTube. It's really common, and it's just a nail in the coffin of like, we really need to be a lot more strict with that kind of stuff as a society. Children are incredibly vulnerable, and the problem with that is they don't even realize they are. So they're like, oh, no, it's fine. I want to do this. It's like, yeah, but I don't think they can comprehend the long-term effects of what they're doing. Like for me, when I came back to YouTube, when I restarted my channel last year, I actually had to sit down and I thought logically, okay, what if my employers here in Japan get a hold of my videos? What if I do get a publishing deal? Like, will my channel be something that I am comfortable with employers and publishing companies looking at? And well, I'm still so-so on how comfortable I am with my Japanese employers running into my videos, which is why I use my pen name. I am confident in my channel is curated enough that if a publishing company runs into it, which some have, by the way, it's not weird. And it's one of the many reasons why I stick to my topics so well. I don't really tell you guys about a lot of personal stuff here in Japan. I don't like show you around Japan a ton. It's my channel is not for that, first off. And secondly, I'm using my pen name here. My channel could be discovered by a publishing company in the future that I work with. I want to make sure that everything that's on this channel is something I'm not worried about them seeing. But that's something that as an adult, I was able to sit down and consider that. Children can't necessarily do that. So yes, definitely always be careful with kids online. Try to avoid it. You can't completely avoid it entirely. Like Instagram Reels is the worst. I posted TikTok, I download my own video, and then I repost to Reels. A lot of people do that. I do that for, cross promoting, but every time I upload to Reels, it plays videos while my video is uploading, and I have no choice in the matter, and I can't touch anything because it'll crash the app. It's probably on my phone, but it crashes. So what I do is I just leave it, but it's always a baby video, and it always kind of creeps me out because I'm like, why is everyone putting their babies online? Like, no thoughts in their brain. No thoughts. Stop putting your babies online. It's weird. Like, one, I don't want to see it, quite frankly. And two, like, stop doing that. Stop doing it. Especially because a lot of people post under their own personal name, which was really shocking in today's world. A lot of people are using their actual names online, which is terrifying. But yeah, if as far as writing children, read a lot of children's lit. I would say watch some children's programming that's actually like legit children's programming. CoComelon does not count. CoComelon moves too quickly. You need slower stuff. So things like, people joke about Dora the Explorer, but the pauses are for a reason. They allow children to interact because they're supposed to be learning speech and developmental stuff, and like it's there for a reason. So yeah, I would like watch stuff like that if you want to get the tonality of how children are what level children are when they speak. But yeah, I would also have a pretty clear idea in your head about what age group the child is when you write them. I think a lot of people, including younger me, when I wrote when I was younger, I was more vague with some of my characters. And with adult characters, it's not that big of a deal. Like the difference between a 41-year-old man and a 38-year-old man, not a big difference, right? But the difference between a 7-year-old kid and a 3-year-old kid, 4 years. But those 4 years are massive. It's massive developmental change in the brain and how they talk. So you do need to keep that in mind when writing kids as well. Be pretty clear about the age because that's going to determine how they speak. By quite a lot. It changes a lot. So be very aware when you write a character who is young that you understand what age they are at, where their development is. So their dialogue makes sense because I am sick of reading works where a 5-year-old child talks like a teenager. It's really weird. It's really weird. Okay, so having said all that, it is about that time for sprint. So I'm going to go ahead and get our stream up and going. We're going to sprint for 45 minutes, try to get as much done as possible. And I will see you guys at the end of it. See you in a bit. All right. And that is it for that particular sprint, 45 minutes. How'd you guys do? I did quite well. I am in chapter 27, actually. And I started chapter 28, but then I paused and I backtracked back to 27 because I want to add a scene. So I'm actually writing a brand new scene right now, which should make the transition smoother. So I'm working on a brand new scene that hasn't existed before. So it's pure writing at this point. But I have to think a lot because I need to merge two scenes together, make a better bridge, pretty much. But we have a couple more people who have entered in. Hella is here. No children in my work of progress. Few are mentioned, but they never get screen time. I feel like that's kind of the norm, honestly. And then we also have Xena, where she said, let's see, interesting way to go about it. Oh, what we were talking about. Well, I missed the first one. Let me scroll up. Oh, there we go. My protag tutors two kids at the start of the story. And I had mentioned how that's a great opportunity to tell readers about the world without info dumps. And they were like, good way to go about it. I guess MC's interaction with them could be used to hint at biases and attitude. Yes. So this is actually one of the really fun things I like to do. It does take a lot of, like, you really have to plan out all of the adult characters' personal biases in order to do this well. But if you do that, this is a really fun instance where you get to play around with unreliable narratives, which, if done properly, they're a pain to make. It's a pain. But when you make it for readers, it makes the world so rich when we read it because it's more realistic. Most people have biases, and by most, I mean everybody, really. Like, there's some people that their biases are less obvious, but everyone has them. It's one of the many reasons why I try to have disclaimers during some of my videos, like my One Author to Another series. When I know a bias is very strong with me, I know I always have biases, but when I know it's really strong, I do try to have disclaimers, especially religious stuff and whatnot, because I have a lot of religious triggers due to trauma. So I do try to disclose that because it is important. Because, yeah, everyone has biases. And when your characters which show that when they talk about certain instances, it can make a scene a lot more rich. So, like, you can also do this even without children involved. You can also still do this in just how characters recall a shared memory. So if one character, like your main character, asks one of their friends, what even happened on Saturday? And that friend recalls the event and was like, well, Sabrina was really, really rude to me. She was really curt and she was mean. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's mad at me or what. And then the MC asked Sabrina later, hey, what happened Saturday? Like, I heard that you were really angry or something. And then Sabrina was like, no, I wasn't angry. I was really anxious. I was really scared because I need to get a blood test later that day and I'm really nervous about it. Like, it completely changes. The same memory is perceived very differently between two individuals. And that's a really good thing to use to expand the world and make it feel more realistic, because that's kind of how relationships work. People perceive the same memory differently. That's very common. I was pretty late and spent the first few minutes just staring at the page, so I wrote 37 words. It's 37 more than you had before. It counts. It counts. It always counts. Honestly, it's easier to push a wheelbarrow forward if you've already got it started than having it completely at a standstill. 37 words is still pushing forward. So it still counts. It still counts. I definitely got less done than I might have because I've been very distracted. I found a new baked good that I like. Oh, it's upside down. Oh, I opened it upside down. Oops. But it doesn't look like much. But they're these little pastries, and they've got strawberry and cream in them, like a custard cream. It's actually very good. It's brand new. They just came out with it at my local grocers. So I've got all the strawberry things because I got that going on, and also my strawberry tea, which I really like. It's a limited edition, though, so it's going to disappear probably at the end of summer. I love Japan's limited edition stuff, but also Japan's limited edition stuff, it disappears. So anyway, so I think we will do a shorter timer coming up. I think we're going to try, yeah, I think we can try a 35-minute next. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Bump. Okay. Bam. I think we will try 35 minutes next because, as per usual, I rambled a wee bit too much and we're a little behind. Not a ton, but just a wee bit. So we are going to do another sprint of 35 minutes this time, 10 minutes less than usual. And we'll see how much more we can get done. Keep that wheelbarrow going. Don't stop. Don't stop. We got this. And I will see you guys in 35. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I think everyone is my subscriber in here, but if you haven't already, it does help the algorithm to continue to post my videos in your feed because unfortunately, small channels don't stay in your feed unless you continue to like and interact with them. So please do so. It really, really helps me a crazy level, really, honestly. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in 55 minutes. Let's go. And that's that. That's the time for 35 minutes. And with that, we're at the 2-hour mark, so we're going to have to close down real soon here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got a decent amount done during that sector. I did. I'm at the tail end of the added scene I've created, so it's going quite well. I hope you guys did really well as well. Oh my God. I think I'm still stuck in the scene. I was in the middle of a sentence, so I'm really thrown off now. But yeah, that went really well. I am very close to being able to link back to chapter 28. I only have 29 chapters. I might be pushing that to 30 chapters for a final edit. We'll see how many new scenes I need. But yeah, I think I'm at the tail end of this new scene. I'm really close to linking it to the next one. So I think that is going to be for the next 2 sprints, which are over on Discord. So if you are not on the Discord, please use the link down in the description box to get to the Discord. You do need to verify your email address to join, but it's a very, very quick process. And when you come in, please make sure you let us know what you're working on and any other stuff you want to talk about. And we are going to do 2 more sprints in there after a 30-minute break for me because I need to eat lunch. I need to stop eating Danish and actually eat a real meal because it's my lunchtime over here in Japan. So at the 30-minute mark, we are going to start writing again. I'm going to try to finish connecting those scenes. It'll be all great. If you are not a Discord person, I will see you same time, same channel right here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our next video, which I do believe the next topic is character builds. So character sheets, ways we build characters, and that'll be a really fun discussion. I'm interested to hear what you guys do when you make a character. Thank you guys so much. This was really, really nice stream, and I look forward to seeing you either in 30 minutes or tomorrow. So thank you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.